Hi everyone, it's Katie Glazier, Program Director at the JCC, here with another baking recipe. Today I thought I'd mix it up a little bit, so I am making something that I have never made before, but that I have had and is divine. So when Michael and I got married, we got from the Adas Kodesh, which is the synagogue where I grew up, we got this cookbook. Now you don't have to call your mother. Well, let me tell you, Mom, don't worry, I will always call you. But there are lots of great recipes in here that were submitted by the different families from Adas Kodesh. And Mike and I were talking about how it would be fun to make something from this cookbook, sort of recipes that maybe are a little bit older or from previous generations. And when I came across the pecan cups from Ella Zukoff, I had to make them. For those of you who are very long-time Wilmingtonians, you may remember Ella as the former membership director at the JCC, which is also a job that I am also a former membership director at the JCC. And she was known for many things. She was excellent with grammar and English, and she came into the J and showed us all how to use proper punctuation and grammar in our written communications, which was really wonderful. She also was a phenomenal baker. So when I saw this recipe, I remembered eating these and I knew that I had to make them. So we're going to make them together today. When I was reading the recipe, there was one thing that struck me as a little bit funny. The recipe calls for a 3-ounce package of cream cheese. I could not find a 3-ounce package of cream cheese. I'm thinking maybe it's supposed to be an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, but I have a stick of cream cheese that I divided into 8 ounces, so I figured I'd start by adding 3, and then if it looks funky, we'll add a little more. We'll see how we go. The worst that will happen is that the recipe won't come out well, and then I'll know which one it was supposed to be. The first thing I'm going to do is take butter. This is half a cup of softened butter, so this has been sitting on the counter for a while. I'm going to put it in my bowl. And to that, I am adding 3 ounces of cream cheese. Like I said, we are going to see what happens. Maybe that will form a nice dough, and if it doesn't, I'll just add a little more. To that, I'm adding 1 cup of sifted flour. So, you know what? I'm probably going to have to take the beater off to get my sifter. All right. In goes the flour. If you do not have a sifter, just use one of your finest strainer. I'm sure you have a strainer somewhere that has a nice fine mesh. You can use that instead. Honestly, you can probably also skip it. I worked out the flour, got it all into the bowl. Now I'm going to mix this all together to form a dough. So let's see, was 3 ounces of cream cheese the right amount? We'll find out together right now. After discussing with my sous chef and videographer, Michael, I think I'm gonna leave the dough like this with the 3 ounces of cream cheese. What's gonna happen now is we are going to chill the dough for an hour, and then I roll it into a ball. And that tells me that it should sort of stick together like that. And I think that this looks right. So I'm gonna trust the recipe as it is and go ahead and chill this for 1 hour in a bag in the fridge. Here we are. It's a little more than an hour later. I have taken the dough out of the fridge, and I have made 24 little round balls. What I'm going to do is put 1 ball in each of the muffin tins, and then I'm going to smush the dough down in the bottom and kind of up the sides a tiny bit. I'm really getting it in there. I don't want it to be too thick. This is what I remember of these pecan cups when I had them the last time Ella made them for her friends at the J. I think my muffin tin might be a little bit bigger than what she used, but we're gonna make it work. Now we are going to make the filling for our pecan bites. So I have 1 egg, and as you can see, I'm using the same bowl that I used when I made the dough because why not? It's one less thing to wash. I am adding to that 1 tablespoon of softened butter, and again, this is the butter that has been sitting out on the counter for a little bit. I only need 1 tablespoon. In it goes. I need 3/4 of a cup of light brown sugar. So we'll just pour that in. It's fun to try new things. I'm excited about trying a recipe that I haven't before. So you know what, if it comes out great, and if it doesn't come out, I will add an addendum to the video so that you know just to watch this for fun and not to try it. I will tell you. I imagine it's gonna be good though. What new things are you trying during the quarantine? You can drop a note in the comments for this video and tell us what you're doing that's new. I'm sure there's things that you're doing that you haven't done before now that we're all home all the time. Some people have been telling me that they've been going on long walks with their families. Mike and I have been doing that. The kids somehow don't like walking, so we have not been doing that with them. All right, that was 3/4 of a cup of light brown sugar. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I measure over the bowl because a little extra vanilla never hurt anybody. The last thing that's going to go in is a dash of salt, and that is what the recipe called for. I'm using kosher salt. You don't have to. You could use table salt. All right, here we go. I'm gonna We're gonna let this mix up all together and get incorporated. You can see the butter is swirling around and getting incorporated. The sugar is getting incorporated. I'm gonna let this go for another moment, and then I am going to stop and push down the sides, scrape down the sides to make sure that everything is incorporated. I have added 2/3 of a cup of pecans, stirring it by hand. If you watched my video on chocolate chip cookies, you know that when it comes to adding the final ingredient, I like to do that by hand so that I can control how well I'm mixing it. What I'm going to do now is scoop this into the muffin liners, and this will bake for about 25 minutes at 325 degrees. As I suspected, I think my muffin tins are bigger than what Ella used for her recipe because I did not get filling into every single one of the cups. It was supposed to make 2 dozen. The filling for me ended up making 16. But I cannot bear to let this filling go to waste. I had a can of pie filling left over from Purim, where we made hamantashen, right? Did we make hamantashen? So what I'm doing now is just taking the pie filling, putting a little bit in, and we'll just have little mini open-faced little open blueberry pies along with the pecan ones. So some little blueberry cups alongside.
So those are just like blueberry cheesecake?
There's no cheesecake in this.
But it's like a blueberry cupcake?
It is like a blueberry cupcake.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of blueberry filling. And
It looks yummy.
it does look yummy, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. All right.
Those ones
are going to be pecan-like, I
Ooh,
think, at the end of the day, because that's what it is. Okay.
Oh, it smells bad.
It smells bad.
Or is it just the can?
It's probably the can. This is going to smell like blueberry filling. These are going to go in the oven for about 25 minutes. For those of you screaming at the camera, continuity change! She's wearing different clothes! One of the benefits of working in my home kitchen is that when I start a baking project at 9 p.m., I can go upstairs and get changed while they are baking so that I can be nice and comfortable. So Zach and I are all pajamaed up. We have taken our treats out of the oven. These went 20 minutes. Zach would like to say something?
And the cameraman is also in the pajamas.
Yes. What I might have taken them out, looking at them now, I might have taken them out a minute sooner. We'll know after we taste them. They were supposed to go 25 minutes, but they looked very done. This was 20 minutes. Once they're cool, we will taste them. But they look delicious. My taster, do you volunteer to taste? Yes? Okay. They look delicious. This was fun to try it. I hope they turn out well. I will report back
Me too.
once they are cool and let you know what we thought of them. I hope you enjoyed watching the video with me. I hope that you will join me in thinking a wonderful thought about Ella, who was a really remarkable woman who did so many wonderful things to help the Jewish community. And it was an honor to bake along with her. Taste testing results are in. Taste tester number 1 did not, unfortunately, enjoy them. Taste tester number 2 did not want to try them because she doesn't like pecans, but then tried it and liked it. Mm-hmm. And taste tester number 3 said they taste like little pecan pies, and they stick a little bit to the paper that they're in. Maybe they wouldn't if they had been baked, maybe a minute less, or maybe they still would, but I'd rather have them stick to the paper than be unable to get out of the pan. So I think that I would use the muffin liners if when we make these again. So the recipe worked. We're all happy. It's now 11 p.m. and we're gonna go to bed. Good night, everybody.